for this one, we're going to talk about a few things before we get started. We can talk about them on the way, actually, for time's sake. Cali is going to go home to her owners here. Kathy's actually coming to pick her up later this afternoon. And I don't think the timing could be much better. We just came off of a workshop weekend, pretty intense weekend for both the dogs and the people involved with it. We've been pushing and pressing, I'm going to say, a little bit with her. And I think it's it's because I want to get moving with her. I want to get further with her. I talk so much about not worrying about time, and I feel like recently I've probably been pushing her a little bit further with the idea of we're gonna get moving quicker, and I think it's creating some issues. She's coming along really well, and I'm really happy with everything, to be honest. Today I'm using this bird. We just used this bird this morning with her for a photo shoot, actually, for gundog, and I kept it cool, and I'm actually going to use it as a blind retrieve. So we're going to put that bird there. I've been working on blinds with her a little bit, not so much on video. We showed a little bit of it, but I've been doing it on my own, and getting into a little bit of a pattern blind scenario with her, where we started out in the backyard and we sent her down this. It is somewhat of a corridor or a channel that opens up into this food plot of mine, but it's not like it's a mowed strip. So it's transitioning. It's the idea of doing something repeatedly in the same area over and over. And the first couple times I sent her on blinds, they were much shorter, and I slowly added distance to them, getting them out into here. I've not been using white dummies for it because I want her to not see them. So we've been using this pheasant wing orange dummy of ours. So this is the one that we had been using for the blinds, and she's doing pretty well. We're going to use that bird because it's different and it's going to have good scent to it, and I don't think she'll have any issue with this one. Now the next question will be, I've sent her on some blinds along this other side, and when we get set up here to send her, I'm going to show you and explain to you why I like the way these things look, because they're channels to a degree, but they're pretty wide, they're pretty big, so they're helping her in general direction, but they're not super tight. So it's not making it super easy like it would be if I was using a mowed trail or a fence line or something really distinct. There's different things here. There's the water influence on that side. The edge isn't perfectly straight, but I'm going to set a second blind retrieve for her in here. Now this one is going to be new, so she's picked that one up before too. I used to do the one on the other side, then I started doing the one on this side that we just set up, and then I started doing two together. So I'd send her for one, let her retrieve it, send her for the second. They're blinds because she doesn't see them go out, but they're not. She's done them before, and she's done them with some consistency back to back days, and it's created a better understanding, and she's running it almost out of habit now. This one is new, and this is one that I'm going to run with her. I'm going to make it a little easier for her than I did my older dogs, but I did it with my older dogs at the workshop as a demonstration. And the thing that created some issue with this was a little bit of the environment, some edge, and I'm going to show you that when we run her as well. I'll explain it then. But so we're setting these up ahead of time. I'm going to put two to that corner, one to here, which is going to be a shorter, straighter. That one is going to be not super long, but it's probably 115, 120 yards. So we'll run her on that blind. We'll run her on this blind, which are memories for her. Memory blinds, they're pattern blinds. She's done them before. Then I'm going to heel her up to this spot, and we're going to send her on a true blind across the field. So you see, there is no straight edge. There's no guidance. There's no ruler for her to draw along. And I use that analogy with kids of, if you give them a ruler, they can usually draw a straight line. That's helping the dog out with edge. If you ask them to just draw a straight line, it's hard for a kid to do that. So that's a skill that they have to learn, and that's what the blind retrieve helps with. I'm doing this because we're gonna get a conclusion to this little series of sessions that we've had over the last 2 weeks probably, and then she's gonna go home, and they're not gonna do any of this stuff. She's gonna be home for a few days, and she's gonna look at coming back here, I think, with a much fresher mindset, probably a lot easier for her to learn and absorb. I think taking breaks is important. I don't think you can take more breaks than work and achieve much, but I think I do get in a habit of go for short stints and realize I'm not quite making the progress I want to or hope to, and I think it's usually a rude awakening to me of the issue. This is the second time with Cali we've had to take a break. The first time was coincidentally, we had gotten all this cold. I just wrote an article for Gundog magazine about it I'm writing a different one now, but the last one, the whole point of it was a polar vortex that came, I don't know how many months ago, several months ago, forced us to stop doing the outside stuff for about 10 straight days, almost 14 days. And that window was enough time for me not even to realize it was what she needed, was to just take her foot off the gas for a little while, me take my foot off the gas for a little while, and let her just be not taking on much more new. And then when we got back into it, she really caught on really well. So that's what I think is going to happen here. So we're going to cut it, we'll go get the dog, we'll run these 3. It's a very short session. I don't expect to have any huge complications. The only issues I think we might have is cutting her across, and while Ben's here he can flip around. So you can see there's a relatively straight line that takes her into here, and she's not going to have a big draw to go run into that open field. She's going to have a tendency to want to stay right along that edge because she knows we've lined along edges for a long time. That bright white dummy will be visual to her. Boom, she'll see it, she'll pick it up. I don't think we'll have any issue with that blind retrieve. We'll have no issue with this blind retrieve, I don't think. And then what we'll do is come here and ask her to go straight over there, and I think she's going to want to run the edge. I think she's going to want to follow that line. All the green strips go that way. The tree line goes that way. Asking her to go up and over, it's hard to see, but that field crowns. And so she's gonna have to go up and over the hill and come back down on the other side before she ever sees a dummy. So I'm asking her to take a path that doesn't seem real natural to her for 60 yards before she gets over the top. And then I'm hoping she sees the white dummy. And so when she picks that first one, I'm going to send her right back for the second one, and I might even back up a little bit, but we'll see how she does in the first one. Let's get her and we'll run it, and then she's going to have a nice break for a few days, and then we'll come back. Okay, so we just came back. I grabbed Cali. Now, one of the things so as you stand here and you look, so there is a bit of a channel out that way. There is a bit of a channel, an edge. But you'll notice before you get to the edge, there's a lot of open space here that, a dog could really get sucked that way. A dog could really get sucked to the water. So we are gonna ask her to kind of navigate some truth to that straight line until she hits the helper. And I don't think, now that I stand from here, I think there'll be no issue with that because I think she's gonna see the white dummy. Now this one will be a little bit different. This one you're running out and you don't see anything. I don't think she'd be able to do this real well starting out if this was a true blind like the one in the corner, because I don't know that I could carry her that far without fading and breaking down. Now with a blind, you can I don't have any issue handling them, helping them out, but I don't want to help them out on something as simple as this if it's possible at all possible. I think so. It's this step by step process in measuring like how much before you want to help them. How much should they carry the straight line that we ask them to go because they believe it's there, because we've done enough drills leading up to this that when we send them on a straight line, they think they should go in a straight line. And you can see them buy in on it with their heads, buy in on it. And you'll watch their heads, and as they go out, if they start to swivel, I might remind them, go back, go back, go back, because I want to continue to push the momentum of where they're going. If they start to swivel their heads and break down, get off the line, that's the timing where we have to be quick to say, no, you're offline, stop, and then adjust back. So the one thing I see that I think she will have an issue with, and I think we'll try it, and I think I'm going to end up fixing it because I think it's valuable for you to see, is we send across here, she has to go, in order to get a straight line, I want at least the first 10, 15, 20 yards, as far as I can get to be straight, And I think it's funny to, if you haven't done this before, you'll go, well, that's no big deal, just point her in that direction. It is a big deal because there's a belly here of green and brown, there's a wall of green and brown, and then there's a wall of brown around the edge. And I know from her, she loves to run the edge, so she's eventually going to get to there. If I send her right here, even if I line her like this, she's taking a nice line, but I do think that she will belly out. And we'll see if she does. If she does, I'm going to stop her. I'm not going to allow it to happen. Even though the general momentum will be in the right direction, she needs to start trusting to take a precise line, because it might be over on that side and I need her to get her. And if she fades from the beginning at 10 yards out, she's fading to the right, we're multiplying the amount that she's off. So if she doesn't do it, I'm just walking through what I anticipate to happen. If she bellies right away, I'm going to stop her, call her back, and I'm going to start her in the brown. Take one level across out of it. So now she starts in the brown straight, and if she bellies around there, it's really a bold move on her part. She's saying, I don't want to run a straight line. I think if I start in the brown, she'll take a nice line. If I start here, I don't know that she'll go green, brown, brown. So let's see. And I got to be ready to stop her. Heel, I want to help her. Sit, good. Cali. Here. There it was right there. So, heel. Take her right to this edge. Now the difference. Cali, go back. Good. I'll let her get away with that part. Good. Good girl. Good, come on. I got a whistle that's leaking air here. Good girl, come on. Now, value of the bird is just another repetition of her carrying a bird, which is something I'm trying to build her up a little bit with. Good. Good, hold, good. Nice delivery, dead, dead. Good girl, good. So I'm happy with that, we'll live with that. I gotta switch whistles here. Let me go grab a whistle quick. Okay, ready? Okay, so I switched whistles. I had a crack in the back of mine. I was losing air. Now, I'm going to move over just slightly here, help her out so that we don't have to go bending around the tree. Heel. Real important to start out right. Nose, spine, tail. Cali, go back. Cali, go back. Go back. Good. Good girl. Now, I don't think she saw the dummy until she got nearly on top of it, just based on the way she was moving just left to right a little bit. I didn't like her stickiness on the send there, and I probably would do that over again. If I could do that over again, I'd do it a little differently. Good. Here, right here. I don't like that little duck out. Come here, sit. Good. There's better. Good. Dead. So if I could redo that one, I think I could have done better. That stickiness I don't like. I would have taken a step forward and I would have sent her on the first time. If she doesn't go on the first time, I'm moving. I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to get into a habit of multiple sends. So I'll be real cautious of that one on this one. One thing I was surprised at was she didn't buy into that one as as well as I thought she would. When I say buy into it, I mean put her head down and really go with confidence. She faded a bit. Her momentum kept going in the same direction, and I figured she'd actually gain momentum as she cleared and got along this edge, which she did. So there really was no need to change anything. I'm going to let her, in those situations, as long as she's not showing me that she's confused, having a hard time, and probably going to break down before she gets the idea of where that dummy is, which the white dummy was going to help her see it. Before that, I don't think there's anything wrong with letting her show a little uncertainty and then have a light bulb come on and go, oh, he was right. I gotta trust myself a little bit. I think that's important for her to start developing some confidence in herself. If it gotten, and that's a fine line at times, in your ability to read your dog and understand when they're gonna get into trouble and when they're gonna be able to figure stuff out. I don't want a robot. I don't want a dog that I have to handle like a joystick to get where I want. I want to be able to get them in a general direction, general area, and then trust that their natural ability comes out, and in the end we find the stuff we need to find. This is the one that'll be the little bit of challenge, because I do think she's going to want to go and continue to carry that line heel. So I'm going to make it a little more dramatic. There I see the white dummy. She's slightly to the left of where that dummy is right now. This field crowns a little bit. To me, when I look at it, almost like reading a green, I feel like it's going to tip the dog that way because it is pitched that way. So I have to be careful. I probably want to send her pretty true to the line, and I can see the top of the white of the dummy. But I do think she's going to have a natural tendency to want to suck to the right. So I'm kind of right in the middle of it right now, and I'm going, well, I'm going to go right to the dummy and line her the best I can, and then read her how she reacts to it. Heel. Good. Cali, go back. Here. A little too much to the right. Right off the bat. Heel. Heel. Cali, go back. I'm going to start that over again. Now she went a little too much to the left. So we went far to the right, we went far to the left. Let's help her out. And I'm going to wait to get a little more positive confirmation out of her head. Her head swiveled the last 2 times. Good. Watch. Cali, go back. Good. Get out. Good. Good. Go back. Good. She's probably touching wind of it right now. Good. Get out. Sit. Good. Go back. Ah, sit. 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 Good. I think she's going to come back to me, so I'm going to go to her. Just too long right now for her. Come on. It's just too long for her. So asking her to run that at 100 yards is too much. So let's just restart. Because with her, she is real easy to shut down if she doesn't get it. And when she shuts down, that's part of what I see her coming back to me. I see her start coming back to me to go, I just don't want to be out here anymore. I'm coming back. And me to get on her at that point would really take steps backwards. She's not doing it because she doesn't want to do it. She's doing it because she doesn't know what I want her to do. So we cut it in half about. Watch. Cali, go back. Good. Good girl. There's where the white dummy helped. Good, come on. Come on. Good, right here. Good girl. Now, my unathletic ability got about 30 yards further for her. Good. Hold. Do not duck your head. Hold. Right here. Come on. Sit. Good. Good. Dead. Good. So you saw that one was manageable. 50 yards. And she took a pretty good line. And I might have started her a little bit to the left. But that white dummy saved it. I didn't have to handle her. I love the idea of sending her on a line at 50 yards and letting her find that dummy, because it's going to only help push her to it here. What I didn't like prior to was at 100 yards, when it got to be too much, she didn't handle very precisely. So what does that tell me? We go back to some more precise handling stuff and get better at that. And then we start adding some distance to it, because if we were real tight, I think she'd handle pretty well. We had a little bit too much distance there, heel. And she was unresponsive to it, and she was giving me that sign of, I don't know what you want, I'm coming back to you. I don't want that. Now, we have the confidence of, made a pick out there, ran it back. Let's see if we can't get her back out there. Watch. Cali, go back. Good. Good girl. Now she doesn't know that second one was there. There, good dog. I know she didn't know it was there, because the first one she picked was in the wide open and the second one was back just into the cover. So there's no way she saw that one when she picked the first one. When she picked the first one, she saw the first one and got all excited, picked it up. Good dog. Good girl. It is a white dummy intentionally. But that second one went back because she was confident in the idea of, I know what he wants me to do. I'm pretty sure I know what he wants me to do. And that's a good lesson to build off of. And so, is it a true blind, the second one? No. First one, yes. First one showed us the struggles that we were going to have and gave me the clarity of the it wasn't that I didn't know it. It was, will she be able to do it this far? She can't. So we should do 50 yards, then we should do 60 yards, then we should do 70 yards with confidence in new areas that are true blinds. And how should we address our handling? Not at 100 yards. We need to address it shorter, get it better. She's getting there. These are all indicators of we're getting there. We're just not there. And there isn't the end anyway. So there is just a stepping stone along the way to the end. So this is a perfect spot, I think, for us to take a break. She's had some pretty intense weeks here, and now she should go home, and she should not have to think about this stuff for a little while, and then come back really energized. And quite honestly, I need to be re-energized as well with her. I am probably getting a little flat with her. I am probably getting a little short with her as far as my patience and my willingness to accept that we're just not going as fast as I'd like to. Well, big deal. So take a break. The best way to speed things up is oftentimes slowing them down. I say that all the time because I really believe it. But I think I have to practice it as much as I say it. So this is a good chance for us to do that. So she's gonna take a little break. The next time we film, it'll be several days after with no work. So sometimes you guys are seeing videos that are happening several days later than the last video, but there's been work that's been done in between because I gotta work with her, I gotta work with her, I gotta work with her. I wanna work with her. And so this is gonna go, I can't work with her. So it doesn't matter if the camera's here or not because she's not here. So we're gonna take a break, and I think it'll be one of the best things we can do. Good girl. So for you guys, don't feel guilty about the idea of doing that. In fact, embrace it. But understand that don't get to the point where that becomes the majority of the time doing nothing. Oh, he said take a break. Maybe that'll fix things. No, it'll only fix things when you're going too hard and pushing too hard. Letting off and slowing down will help counter that. Again, extreme and extreme, and we want to be in the middle. So that's what we're going to do. Good girl.